Hey, Anthony, do you like my new shirt?
Sure, man. It's cool. Could have been better.
What was that?
I said it could have been better.
You want to fight about
Yeah,
it?
I do. Let's go, chump. Hold on a second. We don't need to fight.
We don't?
All you need to do is go to 86.com and choose from one of their many designs. Franchises ranging from Skullgirls to Street Fighter and even BlazBlue. And if you check out 86 through this Twitch channel, use 86.com/AFF=4 to let them know that Mission Star Podcast sent you.
Today. All right, and this is involving Google Stadia. That recently did an AMA recently. This was written up by Ars Technica, written by Kyle Orland. Google tries to reassure gamers it's behind Stadia for the long haul. In a Reddit AMA yesterday, Google Stadia director and product Andrei Donachev, I cannot pronounce the last name, provided a few more tidbits about what features will and will not be available when the streaming game service launches in November. But as he did so, he had to convince some skeptical potential customers that Stadia won't end up in the same corporate graveyard as many other Google service experiments. As I burp into the mic.
Wouldn't be a podcast without it.
Andre compared Google's commitment to Stadia to services like Gmail, Docs, music, movies, and photos, which have persisted for years with no sign of intimate shutdown. Quote, "We've been investing in a ton in tech, infrastructure, and partnerships for Stadia over the past few years," he said. "Nothing in life is certain, but we've committed to making Stadia a success. Of course, it's okay to doubt words. There's nothing I can say now to make you believe if you don't. But what we can do is to launch the service and continue investing in it in years to come." And then following up, more information regarding this AMA, describing Stadia as an Xbox Live Gold service to many people in that AMA. This is written by Forbes.com by Paul Tassi. Google Stadia continues to be one of the best, with great mysteries in gaming. Even if the tech giant is throwing a full weight behind it, it's not clear if it's going to be the next Gmail or the next Google Glass. At the moment, with every new bit of info that comes out, my needle keeps tilting more and more toward Glass. Google has not been terribly clear with its Stadia marketing to date, but a recent Reddit AMA with Stadia producer Andre makes a few things abundantly clear. Here's a few key takeaways from the AMA. To be clear, Stadia Pro is not Netflix for games, like some people have mentioned. A closer comparison would like to be Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, he says. The Pro subscribers get 4K HDR streaming 5.1 sound, exclusive discounts, and access to some free games. Roughly one free game per month, give or take, starting with Destiny 2. That sounds not good.
That's a fucking terrible way to start. Jesus Christ. You know what? They might just give it Anthem to begin with.
The assumption was indeed from the start that Google Stadia would be some new stab at Netflix for games, kind of similar to Xbox Game Pass or now Uplay Plus, which has offered 100 plus free games with a $10, $15 subscription plus access to new release first-party titles to launch the boot. But Google Stadia is not that, slowly building up a tiny free arsenal of titles one at a time. The draw is that you don't need console hardware, but a Stadia controller is 25% of the cost of a console itself, and you need to purchase all other games on the service individually, removing this as far from the Netflix-like as it could possibly be. So they did an AMA. They kind of talked to some people, answered some questions regarding, what is Google Stadia going to be. They said that, in that AMA that they're here for a long haul because a lot of skeptics when it comes to Google products is they don't stay with their new idea products for the long haul, as shown in prior histories past. On top of the fact that they're explaining that this is a service that is much like Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus in that aspect when comparing what Stadia is for people who have a better understanding. My question to you guys, what do you think of all this in terms of what Google Stadia is coming out there with information like this? Do you think that it ease people's minds regarding what this service is going to be, or does the opposite?
Well, let me ask you this: did anybody participate in the preview that they were doing the beta testing?
That what they did, yeah. They had.
No. Did either one of you?
Oh no, I did not personally. No.
No. Then I'm the only one that can talk about this shit. I was in that test room where they were giving us Assassin's Creed, or the new Assassin's Creed. They actually gave me a copy of it for a Steam key after doing the testing. It is so. I'm going to tell you right now. If you do not want to buy a console and you do not want to drop money into a gaming PC, it's fucking amazing. As long as you have a good internet connection, it fucking works. It's amazing. I was surprised. I had a little bit of lag every now and then, but for the most part, it worked almost as if I was on a console. So it honestly, the technology is there. Now, as far as if they're going to support it or if it's a good idea, it's fucking terrible. The technology aspect is amazing and it's perfect. The actual subscription plan and how they're doing all that, it's a fucking shit show. That's my opinion, at least.
Maybe I just don't understand like why it's a shit show. Elaborate on that.
So, from what they've been talking about is basically all of these games are you have to pay to access it. You can buy a game on there, but you have to continue to pay access to be able to access your own game. So
that's bad.
I buy a new game for $60, and then I continue to pay you to be able to access this game that I purchased. That's bullshit.
Like it says like Xbox Live, and I go, how the fuck is that the situation? Because with Games for Gold, there's like one spot where I can get these free games. Now the game remains free for me as long as I have Gold continuing. Every game that I've bought, like actually purchased on my Xbox, still works without Gold.
Yeah, so it's basically the Games for Gold intensified. So
right.
It's like if you purchased a movie from Amazon Prime, like the Amazon Video, and then you canceled your Prime subscription. They're like, well, since you don't have Prime, fuck you. You don't get you don't get what you purchased.
Right. It's like if suddenly every game I own on my Xbox was unplayable without Gold.
Correct.
That's fucking terrible.
And the other thing too that we consistently talked about on this podcast regarding Google Stadia and how we think that it may or may not work is the fact that the infrastructure, like when it comes to the U.S., our infrastructure is not built for that. We have data caps. Yes, you can pay Comcast $50 extra to get unlimited internet, but that's just Comcast, and not every other ISP is like that. Maybe outside the U.S., yes, maybe your ISP is unlimited and you don't have to worry about these things. But at least in the U.S., that's the big issue.
Some carriers have data caps, some don't. So let's make that clear. As somebody who worked in that industry and still has to deal with that industry, some do, some don't. That's going to be a case-by-case basis, and most of them do offer a true unlimited for an additional cost, to be fair.
Right.
I don't know if they're required to do that, but most of them have made the decision that, $50, okay, you get unlimited data. There's no data cap now. So that is true. The real problem that it comes down to is, like you said, the infrastructure is not there for high-speed internet in the United States. It's just not. I don't care what you say. If you don't live in a major or near a major city, there's a good chance that unless you have a local ISP who has taken it upon themselves to make sure that they provide good internet, you're looking at, maybe if you're lucky, 10 to 20 down. That's just a fact, because these bigger companies don't want to invest in smaller areas where they won't make the money because of the build costs.
Yeah, and that's something that it will take time to eventually maybe get to that point where we'll have a much better internet in the future. But at the moment, it's not, at least in the U.S., not fit for that. And I remember, yeah, and I remember seeing a quote or an article regarding this issue that Phil Harrison was talking about Google Stadia and about the infrastructure in the U.S. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he's saying basically that it will evolve in time, and it will once they see the demand for Google Stadia, that the ISPs will adjust and meet that demand. Which I look at that and it's like, no, they're not.
That's not at all the case, because if that was the case, online gaming would have made that demand something that would have happened much sooner. Online gaming is one of the most popular things to use your internet for. So, or online shopping, or Netflix, or That's just not how that works. Honestly, what I think Google needs to do, basically Google Fiber at this point, as far as I can tell, is pretty much dead. Revive Google Fiber and tie a Google Fiber subscription into getting this game service. That, I think, would make it worth it, because you're showing that, hey, Google Fiber, you're going to be able to have the internet speed, and if you subscribe with us, even if they just tack on a small additional fee, you know you're going to have the network to support it, plus you can now game on whatever.
Right.
So I think that's a better game plan, but that once again comes down to whether or not Google Fiber is actually dead or not, because I honestly cannot tell you.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's something that I think a lot of people, will have to kind of wait and see in terms of like how that's going to be. Google, is it safe to say that Google Stadia is, I won't say dead on arrival, but
oh no, it's pretty much dead on arrival. This is not being, from everything that I've been able to find, this is not being embraced by the gaming communities, like at all.
Yeah, in that aspect, yes. I'm curious to see still how it goes, despite all this. I think that there will be some early adopters, and that Ramen in our podcast says he was going to try it out. He's part of the Founders Edition for Google Stadia. Is it? I don't know. Like I feel like everything is going against Google in this idea, just because everything regarding the U.S. Will succeed internationally is the real question, and will they, as I said in the AMA, will they keep supporting it long after the launch has happened? They say they are, but we don't know. I mean, money.
Better question: how long are game companies going to allow them to support this?
That's true, and I made this argument too regarding it, is the fact that if I were to choose a streaming service right now, if I wanted to play a good amount of games for streaming online, or to download and play, like right now I'm subscribed to Microsoft's Game Pass on PC, and I have access to a lot of games right now, and new games coming out when they release, and Microsoft has a huge backlog of games I can play through. Like, they got great support from third parties, and it's only costing me $10 a month. Like, yes, Stadia might have those partners for third parties on their system, but like if I wanted to play on a system or on a brand that has already an established games, I would pick Microsoft or Sony for that matter too. So it's kind of hard to kind of launch a platform when you already have like 2-3 others that are doing it already and better.
Yeah. No, and it's not even so much that it's better, it's that they are the established ones. They're companies that are trusted. Like, how do you compete with somebody where they can go like, well, we don't know what you're going to do, we don't know where this is going to go, and then it's like, but I could just go over to Microsoft, who I know is not going anywhere.
Right, definitely.